Hey, we're here again. Fox 10 Talks, weekend edition, me and Ashlie.
I
What's
forgot
going on?
which camera to look at.
We have four of them here. Take your pick. I mean, one.
One.
There it is.
Hi.
Hi. We have Isabel and Ashley G helping us back there. Join us on YouTube if
Happy
you'd like.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you get me?
Almost forgot.
What'd you get
I'm
me?
still working on it. I still have
Oh,
time.
man.
I still have time.
I did not
What
get
do
you
want?
anything. Well, as a girl, I don't have to get a guy anything, right?
True. It's a lot of pressure. I mean, I have a friend who, he's kind of like me. We tend to procrastinate, and we were talking on Monday about, he's like, I got to find a restaurant. Do you have any suggestions? And anyway, he tried to call on Monday, and he was just laughed at. Every restaurant was laughing him
Oh,
off
yeah,
the phone.
because it's a Saturday,
Yeah,
too.
forget it.
It was already full on a regular Saturday.
So his girl she did the reservations for Friday. So he messed that whole thing up.
Ooh.
Even trying out, 5-6 days in advance wasn't good enough.
Wow.
Mhm.
Interesting. Good to know. All right.
So there you go. It's going to be a hopping night. I tried to get an interview with this Cafe Monarch that was voted most romantic restaurant in the world, in the universe, in Old Town. Tried to get an interview with them yesterday. They didn't even call me back. They weren't mean about it, but the person who answered is like, yeah, this is a very busy time. I don't think we're going to get back to you.
Hey, Monarch, is that like the all pink one that got vandalized?
That was the Moncherie.
Oh, okay.
They didn't call me back either. Everybody's really busy.
Okay.
Cafe Monarch, it might be right across the street from Moncherie. I'm not quite sure, but it's Yelp customers said it was super romantic and great. So if
you
can
know what's
get in
romantic? Picking up the tab. That's all I care about,
at
Show me
Chuck
a
E.
little-
Cheese,
yeah.
at
Oh,
Chuck E. Cheese.
man.
whatever.
Well, all right, when you put it like that, never mind. I'll pay half if it's a nice restaurant.
Well, it's a great night to be out there and enjoy it. All you
Yeah.
Valentine's couples out there. You know what I did real quick before we get to more heavy stuff is last night, it was pretty creative. The Arizona Science Center down the street downtown had a kind of the science of love, like what's going on in your brain. It was kind of cool. It was kind of it was just a theme of the night. Largely couples, could walk around, and they have different themes every other month out there. But this was cute. Like they had people giving little tutorials and shows about what's going on in your brain. Apparently, when you see the love of your life, love at first sight, is the same reaction that your brain gives you if, like, you see a bear ready to attack you. It's just that primal brain, deep down in the onion, and it is reacting basically the same way. Your heart races, your palms sweat. It's fight or flight.
Huh.
It's in there somewhere. That's what the guy said.
Did it say anything about pheromones? Should I be spraying myself with like certain pheromones to get a guy to love me?
We didn't go there, but we did. They did have an aphrodisiac station, and I asked the woman running it, "Is there one that stands out?" And she said it's kind of on a case by case basis, but the scent that was testing well was amber, warm, sweet, and mysterious. They said so. There's a thought.
All right.
There you go.
Now to some heavy stuff. I don't even know what day we're on. What day are we on, folks?
13, maybe?
Savannah
Is it 13?
Guthrie's
Well,
mom
it
being
was
gone.
2 weeks ago, overnight tonight, she was taken, right? So yeah.
All right,
Monday,
14.
yeah.
13. Okay. Yeah, let's get to Megan Spector, who has done an incredible job covering it for us. Megan, can you just give us what's new? I mean, the details just kind of like they come in, but they're just not real details. I feel like there's still no real developments, but walk us through what you saw last night as well.
Yeah, well, we did just get out here back at Nancy's home. A very different situation in the community from what we saw last night. Now, I will tell you that as of today, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, they sent out a message that did talk about this law enforcement activity from last night. They confirmed that they executed a search warrant in a neighborhood that was about 2 miles from Nancy's home. Took us about 6 minutes to get there, so very close. They said that lead, they were following a lead that brought them to a home there, but as of today, they said that no arrests were made. They also made a comment that there was a traffic stop conducted where someone was questioned in that situation as well. But again, no arrests from that specific situation, which is a bit of a surprise because of the law enforcement activity that we saw last night. So I'll kind of walk you through that situation. We were outside Nancy's home, and about 8:30, the sheriff's department sent out a message actually saying, bringing us to that other neighborhood, saying there was going to be a media staging area, and specifically saying that a public information officer was going to be there to meet us. So all of us media expected some sort of public, conversation, interview, statement, something to come out at that scene. While we were there, we saw multiple SWAT trucks. We saw a bunch of different agencies. So it wasn't even just the Pima County Sheriff's Department. There was Marana Police, Sahuarita Police, again, and those at least two SWAT trucks coming through. About a couple hours later, after we were, awaiting some sort of communication from the sheriff's department, they sent out another statement saying that they would not be talking in person, and then this update was going to come in the form of a written statement. So we were waiting for that as well, hoping to get answers about what they were doing in that neighborhood. And I do want to point out that when they called us there, the road was blocked off. So they set up media outside of the neighborhood. So we couldn't directly see which house they were at, what they were physically doing. All we could see were these cars coming in and out, and we were just waiting to hear from someone. And about midnight, they sent out another statement that essentially said the FBI has asked them not to reveal more information, and that's all that was being released as of last night. Now, this morning, like I said, the sheriff's department confirmed that they had a search warrant there. They had a traffic stop somewhere else, but again, no arrests made. And I think it was kind of a huge disappointment for people waiting for answers. But then, of course, just about this case in general, I think we were really hoping to hear something, positive about the case, or just get answers in general.
For sure. I mean, 2 nights this past week, we thought we had a crack in the case that kind of so far have gone nowhere.
I'm trying to see on our chat that name. It looks like, can you read it to me, ladies? The one that's asking, has Annie and her husband been cleared in this case? That's coming from one of our viewers.
No one's really been cleared, right? And everybody's still a suspect.
Yeah, that's exactly what the sheriff said recently. He spoke with someone with Fox News that essentially said that, at this point, they're still looking at anything and everyone. Now, they did say that the family has been fully cooperating, but the only suspect that we have at this point is this description that the FBI put out a few days ago of this person that was seen in Nancy's ring cam video, which was a man 5'9" to 5'10", who was wearing that specific backpack that the FBI, listed the details of. But at this point, we have no idea what they have, what they don't have. They're still asking the community to send in tips, to look at their own surveillance video. They're specifically talking about this 2-mile radius around Nancy's home, asking people to check their home surveillance. And that home that was a part of this situation last night is in the 2-mile radius.
Okay, and that question came from Wiley's V2G. So thank you, Wiley's, for that question. And so when I was out there on Wednesday, FBI agents were just walking through the area around her house, just like, not like lifting stuff up or like digging, but just using their eyes, just surveying. And I think they found a glove that night.
Yes.
The black glove.
So
Megan, you're too young for this, but everybody thought, oh my God, the OJ.
OJ.
That was the huge thing in the OJ trial. But yeah, Megan, go ahead.
Yeah, so that we saw that on video. That was the speculation at first. The sheriff's department did confirm that they picked up, they used the term several gloves, the closest being about 2 miles away from Nancy's home. But what's really interesting about this case is the sheriff's department, they seem to be having to do this, split conversation where they're not just releasing information, but they're also confirming or trying to address misinformation. So part of that misinformation was that the gloves were found in Nancy's home. The sheriff said that was not what happened. That is not confirmed by them. It seemed to be about 2 miles away. But again, they haven't connected the gloves to the case any more than just saying that it is a part of evidence now. We did see that the man in the suspect in the video was wearing black gloves. But again, that hasn't been confirmed by the sheriff's department.
Okay, I believe we have Sheriff Nanos, a soundbite with him on the FBI cooperation because, Nanos himself has come under some criticism for how he's handled this investigation. And I'm sure having the big dogs, FBI, show up has got to be very annoying for them internally.
And I did want to ask Megan about that. Since you've been down there a while, or you worked in Tucson before, if you feel like the sheriff is acting normally, is he still calling the shots? Is he deferring to FBI? I don't know if you have a sense of that at all. Was he, or do you think this is just a bigger case, so he's playing it close to the vest?
And under pressure?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to say. I would understand that the sheriff's department and the FBI are not releasing everything. Of course, they have their own investigation. I think the situation last night kind of added fuel to the fire about the reports that the FBI and the sheriff's department aren't necessarily working in hand because we had that back and forth with we're going to give you information, and then all of a sudden them saying the FBI has asked us not to. But that being said, the sheriff has said that he is working closely with the FBI and has denied any issues between the departments.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to the first soundbite we have.
The FBI here locally, that's who, when everything's gone, everybody's gone, this thing's over, there'll be two things that are constant. The FBI will be here, and the Pima County Sheriff's Department will be here. We will always have a relationship. We have had a relationship with the FBI for decades. We house deputies at their headquarters with them decades ago, before this ever happened. I can't worry about the naysayers or the haters are going to hate. You don't like Christanos, or he won an election, or you don't like all that stuff. There's plenty of time to do that afterwards. Right now, our focus is we want to find Nancy.
I like that. I that's if I'm the Guthrie, that's what I want to hear. I don't even care about what they're saying about me. We want to find this woman.
Megan?
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, any thoughts, Megan, on what he just said?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that it's we only know what we're being told, right? And again, I think that us as reporters and the community is just hoping that the FBI and the sheriff's department have more than they are saying, and that they have a lead that they're following. But I agree. I think that it all goes back to the goal of this, which is finding Nancy and, hopefully giving this family answers as well.
Good stuff, Megan.
Yeah, we're going to be looking forward to your report on Fox 10 at 5, just kind of outlining where we are at this point. I mean, it feels like, especially with the TMZ stuff keeps coming in, and it's like, at the end of the day, we still have no idea where this woman went. This is the oddest, craziest case. Who would want to take an 84-year-old woman?
Real quick, my private investigator, Logan Clark, I've been interviewing, he's from California. He's dealt with a lot of kidnappings. He thinks this shows that they do have more than we know and think, that these are not random, wasted, putting on a show situations, that they are collecting evidence for a reason every time they go somewhere, and this will all culminate in a crack in the case.
Who knows, Megan? Maybe tonight we'll have a break.
Thanks,
all
Megan.
right, we'll be right back with more. We're going to talk about Pam Bondi. Hey guys, whoa. Wiley V2G, you have some friends in there. Happy
Yeah, look
Valentine's
at
Day,
that.
everyone. Good to see you. I'm trying to read the
I'm glad
names.
I'm glad I'm just not the only one who can't read that.
Yeah. OB Grace, I think I see one. Alicia, I can't read the numbers. Hi guys. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah. Thanks
All
for
right,
joining us.
so we've wrapped up Nancy Guthrie. The update being the person that was detained has been released, and
second person in a week, right?
they've searched a Range Rover. They have not confirmed how that's connected, and yeah, everybody's still a suspect. A lot of chatter out there just saying, they think it's the sister, they think it's the husband-in-law, or I'm sorry, the brother-in-law. I also have seen a contingent of people saying, why aren't you guys covering anything else?
I was just going to ask you that. What's your thought on that? Are we doing too much Guthrie?
I think so.
Really?
Well, I think, yes, thank you. They
There
made
we
it
go.
bigger. Yeah. DGB by Grace. DG by Grace. We have Wiley's. We have Heel Turn Media. Thanks, guys, for joining
Wiley's
us.
right. I am not sure what's going on, but I don't think we're being told the entire truth.
Yeah.
People agreed with him.
And-
Well, we aren't being told everything right now, clearly.
Well, there's just so many things that just don't make sense.
But I'd give them a little bit of a break, don't you? They're not going to just tell everything to everybody. I mean, it's an investigation. They're telling us when we can help their investigation. They tell us when we would hurt it. They don't. That's how it's always been.
I'm hoping going into next week, the news coverage starts to balance out a little bit more, just because of fatigue. I mean, we can't be our top story for the next month cannot be Nancy. Who knows how long this is going to take?
And for people who don't know, like we are, our morning crew's there, our day crew's there, and our night crew's there. We don't really have overnight crews so much anymore, but we are there as much as physically possible. But that means long days. That's a 4-hour round trip almost. And, it's it's taking a toll after a while. Just getting everybody, all the pieces in place. How do you do that over? And they got vacations and sick days and all this stuff. And how does that work? Not easy.
This one says, DB by Grace says, what if this was intimidation towards Savannah? Totally legitimate theory, because she was investigating the Epstein victims. I also found out that her husband was a Clinton fixer. He was a former staffer that would help clean out, like, say, computers and databases that the Clintons had information on the Clintons that was unfavorable to them. Maybe she was dipping her toes too deep into some investigation and they wanted to silence her. That's still a theory. And when I spoke to my law enforcement expert about that, because I know you're like, that's outlandish.
Mm-hmm.
I did ask somebody about that, and they go, they are 100% investigating that angle, because they have to go after every perceived grievance against anybody in the family.
I don't doubt that. Could be someone going after Nancy, Savannah, or just money or opportunity crime, so to speak. It's all on the table.
All right. So moving on to the other thing that made headlines that my coworker knows nothing about, I will apprise you of it.
Help me out.
So I think it was the Senate Judiciary Committee. I have to look that up. I'm sorry, guys.
Already tripped over yourself, did you?
And they did a hearing involving Pam Bondi obviously Epstein was top of mind. They talked to her about a lot of things, but just to set the tone, let's just go to the next thought we have, and then we can talk about it, because it's crazy.
Not on our time, no way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I
anything.
did tell you, because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I
Not a
said that
few more
already.
seconds, 45 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, that was her attitude during most of it. And it's so funny, because there was one soundbite that I thought that the senator, or I need to look that up. I thought that the legislator made a really good point. So I sent it out to my mom. But my mom is very in line with the Trump administration. So she thought I was sending it to applaud Pam Bondi's performance. And it's so, because
She took it that way?
Yeah, so you
Okay.
can see one
Yeah.
soundbite and get whatever you want out of it.
Sure.
I'm just going to tell you my opinion. You have 3 million files, the Epstein files. This lady has lied her butt off about these files. Now that they've been released, which was, I think, a day before Nancy Guthrie went missing, if you want to connect the dots there, we learned horrible things, depraved, disgusting, horrific things. I mean, what they're doing to children and babies and these are some of the most powerful people. So they're like, the victims, some of his victims are in the audience. They're like, why can't you indict? Why can't you do anything about what we're reading? And let's play another soundbite. Let's just show her attitude during this. When you would think somebody who ran in Florida trying to help the victims of self-trafficking, that was like a part of her platform.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's just so, go ahead and play the soundbite.
Over the last 4 years, one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
So put yourself in the position of one of these victims who was trafficked and raped repeatedly as a child, and you're sitting in the audience and they go, why don't you hold these men accountable for these crimes against children? And she goes, but look at the Dow. The Dow is over 50,000.
Is exactly what Donald Trump says when put up against the wall on other issues he doesn't want to talk about. Remember, he'll pivot to the stock market or something else that he thinks is beautiful. And she was looking at notes. She brought those notes in. She was looking at 50,000. Those were notes, and you have to wonder if someone made sure that, hey, bring that up when you're in there. It has nothing to do with the stock market. This wasn't a hearing over the stock market.
And I think the Trump administration wins if they can keep this looking like it's political, like, oh, the Democrats are only going after Republicans. But I think when you're talking to most people, this is a bipartisan issue. My politics never come up when I'm talking about Epstein. I think all of us want to understand how this elite group moves. We're talking about people who went to his island for nefarious reasons, and like there's correspondence saying I love the torture video, and there's pictures of little kids being taped down on tables, and it's disgusting. And it's like, how are we going to move forward as a society unless someone is held accountable? Hold Bill Gates accountable, hold Clinton accountable, hold anybody. It doesn't have to be Republican or Democrat. And you would think that the Trump administration would want to be the hero and the savior of this. And they have just done a 180 once they've gotten into office. They're not going to touch it at all.
Some people, I admit I had no idea how widespread it was. But people are losing their jobs and positions in other countries.
Yeah.
In this country, too, not connected to politics that I know of yet. I know that a woman who was a banker resigned. Was she at J.P. Morgan, or she somehow came in touch with...
Sultan was forced to step down. Prince Andrew has lost his home.
Britain's been taking a beating on this.
Oh, so Britain, the new thing on them that came out was the Queen paid $7 million to Virginia Giuffre to keep quiet against Andrew. And the comments online were like, if we were a proper country, we would not stand for this. Because remember, that's public money that she's using to then silence the fact that her son is out there committing crimes.
I just don't even know.
Or whoever he is.
Where does Pam Bondi think she's going with talking about the stock market on this? That is... Have
a heart. And that was awful. The same issue with ICE, is when Kristi Noem would get up there, somebody had just been shot, Miss Noem. Can you just show us some compassion? And I think it's the attitude that they have. It's so callous. It almost feels like it's only fanning the flames of the scandal.
Is it though? Do you think people who are in the Trump camp just think this is them being the badasses that we elected and screw the libs, or whatever they say?
I think if you educate yourself on it, if you do a deep dive and you see emails with them talking about eating babies, like cannibalism, it's crazy. When you do a deep dive, all the politics fade away. But I was out there talking to people in Tucson, and I let it slip to one of the guys I was interviewing. I go, it's dominating the news coverage right now, Nancy Guthrie. We can't really talk about the Epstein files. And he goes, I wish people would just get over it and move on. That's somebody to me that's not, it's not that he's super partisan, it's that he hasn't read them. Because if he did, he'd be freaked out.
And you've read these, or you've read them in
I've read the
some
most
sort of...
scandalous ones.
Okay.
It's really just emails and pictures. For example, one of the pictures was 2 turkeys, like uncooked, on a, like frozen, on a cutting board, and in between them was a baby that looked like a turkey. But we can't tell if it's real or if it's art. It looked like 2 frozen birds with a frozen child. What? Hello? What? And there's just stuff, and it's like, can we figure out? This guy had his hands in everything. There's emails talking about Bitcoin before Bitcoin was created. There's emails talking about how to live forever. That's why he was working with so many scientists. You know, he was trying to figure out like how, just weird stuff.
Yeah. And, again, it just seemed like however it started, who knows? But then once he got this island and started lining up girls, and then he started getting famous, powerful people there. And are there anything in the emails that you've seen that are outright blackmail where he says, hey, I got you?
No.
Nothing like that.
No.
It's still on
a lot of
friendly
these
terms
people wanted to be there. Yeah. The other thing is, like, why do we have so many files? A lot of these are witness accounts. So people who've been abused have gone to the FBI and said, this is what happened to me. And it's like, if all of this was fake, like if somebody wanted to say, oh, this is just a hit piece on Trump or something, how does this many powerful people get this many witnesses talking about they raped me as a child? There's a file in there that has a witness testimony that says that she was, raped as a 13-year-old, forced to have a baby, forced to like give that baby away, watched them drown the baby, and Trump was in the room.
No.
So, and then you can say, oh, well, that's not enough evidence to do anything about it. Can you just investigate just investigate her testimony? And they won't do that. Let's just play the last soundbite before we go.
For goodness sakes,
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic. This
beautiful
is
state.
pathetic, Mr.
Committee will
Chair.
be in order.
I am not asking trick questions here.
You
The
got your
American
5
people
minutes.
have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration.